The Tar Heels are still looking for their first commit in the class of 2025. How about Jasper Johnson?
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, it's Monday, July 15th, 2024. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Shade, and you're joining us at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. I want to sincerely thank you for making us your first listen or watch. It's so good to be together after the weekend. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Special shout out to all you everydayers that are joining us and all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord. Boy, it's good to be with you all. If you're not part of one of those groups, no fear. Come join us. We'd love to have you. All right, here's where we're headed today. The roadmap of the show. Coach Davis and some of the staff are out on the road watching, hopefully, future Tar Heels. Former Tar Heels on the other side of the equation are working to make their way to the NBA in Summer League. And Vance Honeycutt found out his next step in his baseball journey on Sunday. So we're going to get to all of that. Let's start on that recruiting side of things, though, because that's where everyone's the most interested all the time right now. So we heard from Joe Tipton on Twitter over the weekend. When did he shoot this out? Oh, goodness. Come on, internet. Do stuff. He put this out actually on Sunday that Kentucky's Mark Pope and Alabama's Nate Oats were watching Jasper Johnson on Sunday. I don't care about that. What I care about is the next line down where Tipton says, a commitment is nearing and a decision is expected after Peach Jam. So that's here in just the next couple weeks that we could be learning more about Jasper Johnson. Now, based on solely that tweet where it's kind of talking about Alabama and Kentucky, you hear that and it's like, but literally Tipton was quote tweeting his own tweet when he tweeted that. And the previous one was North Carolina's Hubert Davis and two assistants are among the coaches currently watching five-star Jasper Johnson. That was on Saturday. So because of all of that, there's speculation that Johnson is down to potentially Carolina, Kentucky, and Alabama. There's not really a way of knowing. There's not much information getting out right now, but hopefully as we get nearer to this commitment date, we will hear more. In this day and age, it's just so hard to know. There's a couple things to be aware of and to know, though. Jasper Johnson is from Lexington. His dad played football for Kentucky. So there is that. Although, Jaron Stevenson, right? Like, I think about that. And I'm like, he didn't come to Carolina. His mom played ball at Carolina. He went to Alabama. So in this day and age, you go where you think you fit best. And, legend status from parents, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't always hold all the same water as it once did. That's, by the way, why I'm like, hey, maybe we could get a boozer. I'm just saying. Anyway, there is that. What's interesting to me is that despite being from Lexington, Jasper Johnson plays at Link Academy in Branson, Missouri, which is where James Brown just finished playing, which is where Elliot Cadeau finished playing. Now, there are a ton of high-level players that go to Link Academy, but two current Tar Heels were there. So, there's just all that. We're always looking for what is meaningful, what is not, and that is some of the stuff that could be telling. But again, we just don't really know with Johnson. But he is one of the gaggle of offers that Carolina has out in the class of 25, and none of them have committed yet. So it's like, gosh, it'd be nice to just get one on the books. Then you can just start feeling solid about getting this class put together. In terms of Johnson, just if you need a reminder, Jasper is 11th in the consensus rankings. He's a 6'4" shooting guard, good size, man, just able to do a lot of the things that you want in a basketball player. So you'd love to see him. And so we'll keep our eyes out for more specifics on what this commitment will be, if it'll be immediate after Peach Jam or what that's going to look like. I would assume a lot of people are going to assume he's going to Kentucky because of that geographic proximity, but don't count your NIL chickens until they've hatched, right? So we'll see on that. Now, Jasper Johnson is the most pressing right now just because of that news from Joe Tipton, which we are cross our fingers and are hopeful for. But Coach Davis is out watching all sorts of dudes. Before Peach Jam started, which Peach Jam's going on right now in in North Augusta, Adidas was having their 3SSB Palmetto Championship in Rock Hill, South Carolina, just about 2 hours away from North Augusta, where Peach Jam is. So a bunch of dudes on that Adidas circuit that Coach was able to see. Koa Peat, who is a power forward from Arizona that we've been heavily after. It seems like there's whispers of maybe Carolina and Pete cooling on each other. I hope not, but it's recruiting, man. That's what we do. But Pete had missed Compton Magic's first 3 games because he had been playing at the U17 World Championships, came in for the playoff rounds, the elimination rounds, and did great work. They beat Southeast Elite in the Sweet 16. Sorry, Southeast Elite. I know you guys are watching sometimes. In the Elite 8, beat Darren Peterson's team. The Final 4, they fell to Indiana Elite, which is like Braylon Mullins, Malachi Moreno, who are some of the other guys on Carolina's radar. So they're there as well. Nate Ament. I always go back and forth saying Nate Ament and Ament. But anyway, all those guys were there at the Adidas thing that Coach Davis is able to see. Obviously, now Peach Jam is going on. Getting to see guys like Kendre Harrison, the guy that's tight end and basketball player, just kind of balling out for CP3. You love to see that. I mean, he's just a massive dude. And thankfully isn't breaking rims yet at Peach Jam, but has done so. Whole host of coaches were in attendance at his games because obviously he's the number 1 tight end in 26. So I think a lot of coaches are going to think, man, if we can convince him to come play basketball and football for us, football and basketball, whatever order you want to say it, then that's a win. I think Carolina is going to be in the driver's seat for his services. It just has felt that way all along in his recruitment with everything that's there. So I continue to be hopeful for that. So again, no commitments yet in the class of 25 or 26. Jasper Johnson is supposed to commit at some point, according to Joe Tipton, after Peach Jam. So keep your eyes out for more specificity on that. Now, going from guys that could be Tar Heels to guys that already have been Tar Heels. I don't like to say former Tar Heels. That makes it sound like they're not anymore, but it's a life commitment. You know what I'm saying? So guys that are trying to make their way in Summer League, we want to update you on that and just look at the great Carolina tradition that's part of Summer League. We'll do all that in just a second. Right after I tell you about eBay Motors, passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships is also what keeps your number 1 ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers to roof racks, from exhaust kits to LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed or power or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number 1 ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your vehicle every single time, or you get your money back. Why? Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. NBA Summer League finally started up, like the main version of it, the one that all the teams participate in, like the official NBA Summer League. That started Friday in Las Vegas. Everyone was off on Thursday. And so now the 7 Tar Heels that are playing on Summer League rosters are in action. Only one actually played on Friday. That was Pete Nance, who had a nice little showing for himself. He's playing with the Cavs. On Friday, he scored 8 points in 19 minutes, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 7 boards and assists, and 2 blocks. Love to see that from Pete Nance. He had an even better showing on Sunday. Started for the Cavs, 20 minutes, 14 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 3 boards, 1 block, and no turnovers. Great job, Pete. Keep it going. You'll love to see this for Pete Nance. Again, I will always say, I don't think we got to see the real Pete Nance because of that back injury that he suffered. There you go. Now, 6 other Tar Heels are on these rosters. I continue to be frustrated with the Jazz, who keep DNPing Armando Bacot, did not play coach's decision. And so that happened again on Saturday as the Jazz played. You just want him to get a chance, right? And we'll see. Leaky Black and the Hornets played over the weekend on Saturday. He scored 6 points in 24 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field, both of which were threes, 7 boards, 2 assists, a steal, and a turnover. And I don't know if you watched this game, but you got to always remember with Leaky, he is not somebody that you can just look at the box score and see the impact they had on a game. You have to watch the Hornets play if you want to see that. Apologies if you don't want to watch the Hornets play. But that's the reality of it. You know, if you go look at Hornets fans talking on social media, which I did after the game, they're like, man, I know Leaky's not scoring a ton, but everything he brings to this team is so great. So you love to see that. Tony Bradley, who's playing for the 76ers, similar to Armando Bacot, DNP'd on Saturday for the 76ers. Garrison Brooks is playing for the Bulls. They played both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Garrow started, scored 7 points on 3 of 5 from the field, even 1 of 1 from 3. Way to go, Garrow, stepping out. You love to see it. Played 15 minutes, 3 boards, a steal, a block, and no turnovers. Great stuff. I think essentially because of that, turned around and didn't play as much on Sunday, came off the bench, just played 2 minutes late in the fourth quarter, no points aboard, and a turnover. Cormac Ryan and the Thunder played on Saturday. Cormac came off the bench like he's doing, but he is getting in, you know, unlike Armando, who frustratingly can't get any run. At least Cormac's getting some minutes, played 6 in this game on Saturday for the Thunder, 2 points. Those were both free throws, 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, but he added 5 boards and an assist, did have 1 turnover as well. So Cormac getting in and rebounding is a major plus for him. If he can do that consistently, that's going to help. And then our guy Harrison Ingram. The Spurs played both Saturday and Sunday, and homie logged a bunch of minutes for Greg Popovich's team, although he's not coaching it, obviously. Saturday, Harrison started, scored 8 points, 31 minutes, 3 of 9 from the field, not great. 2 of 4 from 3, you like to see that. But here's where he really fills it out. And this is the Harrison Ingram you know. 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. Did have 4 turnovers to go with it, so he needs to curtail that. Yes, absolutely. But the shooting will be there. I mean, that's still 33%, but you love seeing him 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. Like, that is where Harrison Ingram's going to make his money, and an occasional making of shots. Sunday, he started, didn't do as much, 29 minutes, 6 points, 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. So obviously an off day shooting on Sunday for Harrison, but did add 6 rebounds in and was 1 of 2 from the free throw line, where he's not great, if you'll remember that. So that's kind of the update on Summer League. Monday, 3 Tar Heels are in action, or at least their teams are. You'll understand why I say that in a second. The Thunder play the Heat, so that's Cormac Ryan for the Thunder. And then 2 guys that have not been getting much burn. The Trailblazers play the 76ers. That's Tony Bradley for the Sixers. Again, he's not really getting in much. And the same thing, Jazz play the Kings. Jazz is Armando Bacot. I'm not holding my breath to see if they get him in the game, but I'm hopeful that they will. Now, here's something that I absolutely love. The Carolina family shows up for each other over and over and over again. Over the weekend, the Carolina basketball account tweeted a picture out that just kind of showing, just said hashtag Carolina family reunion in Vegas. And it's a picture. This was on Saturday of just a whole bunch of Tar Heels there together celebrating, eating Man, this is the family you love to see. As you go around the picture, you see all of the guys other than Pete Nance that are playing in this thing: Armando, Leaky Black, Tony Bradley, Garrison Brooks, Harrison Ingram, Cormac Ryan, all featured in that picture there. Jawad Williams is in the picture. Why? He's coaching. He's got a summer league gig, so you love to see that. Man, I think Jawad would make a great coach. He just understands the game so well, knows what he's doing. Man, I feel like I could play for Jawad Williams and be very happy. Thank you very much. Also, just I'm not going to name everybody that was in the picture, but you see Kobe White, Marcus Page, Pat Sullivan, Hoots, George Lynch, others. So, Tar Heels from across a whole bunch of different eras, like Pat Sullivan, George Lynch. You look ahead to Jawad Williams, and then more recent guys. And so Kobe, Marcus, it's just, you love this family being the family that it is. And I'm sure there are other programs that are getting some guys together, but A, a lot of programs don't have this many guys doing it. And B, I think there are programs that just don't come together at the same way or at the same level that the Tar Heel family does. You love to see it, and you hope it continues forever and ever and ever. Now, that's kind of the early stages of NBA life. Let's switch from that to early stages of Major League Baseball life, where Vance Honeycutt got some great news on Sunday as the MLB draft started. We'll get to that in just a second. Sunday began not the NBA, the Major League Baseball draft. And as expected, Vance Honeycutt, first rounder, you love to see it. Now, the Major League Baseball draft, it used to happen like while the season was still going on, like during regionals or super regionals. Finally, MLB had the wherewithal to move it away from that. And now it occurs just right at the front end of All-Star Week, because today is the Home Run Derby, tomorrow is the All-Star Game. I wish, because on Sunday it's happening and there's games going on, I wish they would wait and do it like Monday leading up to the Home Run Derby or something of that nature, or push the Home Run Derby back a day, have the draft start on Monday, and then you can have the other rounds of the draft on day 2 and 3 during the Derby and during the All-Star Game. But the big news for Carolina, Vance Honeycutt goes 22nd overall to the Orioles. As you would imagine, this is seen as something of a risky pick because almost strictly of Vance's strikeout percentage. Last season alone, I'm not talking about his freshman year or his sophomore year, just last year, his junior year, 83 strikeouts in 62 games. That's right. Vance averaged more than a strikeout a game last season for the Tar Heels. His strikeout percentage was 27.5%. Just do a little quick math on that. That means that Vance last year struck out just north of once every 4 at-bats. Yikes. You cannot do that. That is the major hurdle. But thankfully, it's one of the only hurdles. I'm sure there are other things that scouts and coaches and stuff will identify and have him to work on. That's Vance. But outside of that swing and miss, he's in such a good place. So all he's got to do is get that figured out, and he could be a baller of a player. Now, here's the thing of why I think this pick makes sense for the Orioles. The Orioles, stuff's going really good, really well. Stuff's going really well with the big club there in Baltimore. And so they can afford a little bit to, try swinging for the fences. This is kind of similar to Vance, oddly enough, right? They can afford to do so because they're in a good spot. And that's the thing. I don't know if long-term Vance stays in the Orioles organization because they're kind of in a good place where they don't necessarily need him, depending on how quickly he would rise through the rankings. But he's got to be good trade capital if they ever want to move him around, or maybe he develops quickly and they move somebody else off. I don't know what's going to happen with Vance, but this to me makes a ton of sense for the Orioles, because as you look at Vance, this, I know this, there's absolutely zero question about his defense. His defense comes in spades, like legitimately. He has gold glove, game-changing capability on defense. Vance does. That's real. That's very real. And offensively, the pieces are there, right? He hits for power. He runs incredibly well. And so you see that and you're like, man, I just feel like you got the power speed combo. You got what he does on defense. Just got to cut down on those swings, because if you're not putting the ball in play or not taking your walks, right? And I know his on base percentage was up above 400. You'll live with that. But that's not going to stay the same now that you're a professional baseball player. And just hear me, if Vance Honeycutt can do that, if he can cut down, which there's no reason to think he can, he's a good enough athlete, he can figure this out, especially if he wants this to be his career. Because the more you cut down on these strikeouts, the better chances you have of making it in the major leagues. So could have a very long and lucrative and happy career in Major League Baseball. Just gotta make contact when he swings. So there's that. So day one on Sunday was rounds 1 and 2 of the Major League Baseball draft. Remember, the MLB draft has tons of rounds in it. So today, Monday, is going to be rounds 3 through 10, and tomorrow are rounds 11 through 20. That's on Tuesday. Because again, just so many guys on rosters filling out all these minor league systems, all that. And so that's why all these come. Now, Vance was the only Tar Heel drafted on Sunday. I'm expecting Casey Cook to be the next Tar Heel drafted at some point today in rounds 3 through 10. So we wait to see when that is. Very excited for that. And this is also a moment where I know we're still trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen with the Tar Heels. Are they going to end up staying in the ACC? I don't think so, unfortunately. Are they going to go somewhere else? SEC, Big 10, Big 12? Who knows? But Denny Neckel, who does some great stuff with Virginia, tweeted this out on Sunday evening. Quote, "The ACC is the only conference that had at least 4 players drafted in the first round in each of the MLB, NFL, and NBA drafts." And so I know it is popular and cool and hip to bag on the ACC. But the ACC continues to do really solid work and turn out a bunch of players. Germane to where we're at right now, the Major League Baseball draft, Wake Forest actually had 3 in the top 10. Chase Burns, you remember that? He's a filthy pitcher, went 2nd overall. Nick Kurtz went 4th overall. And Seaver King went 10th overall. All 3 of those guys, Wake Forest. James Tibbs, who was the ACC Player of the Year over Honeycutt, Florida State, went 13th overall. Cam Smith, his teammate, went literally the next pick, 14th. And then Vance went 22nd. So 6 ACC players drafted in the first round of baseball. In the NFL, you had exactly 4. Drake May went 3rd. Jared Verse from Florida State went 19th. Graham Barton from Duke 26th. And Nate Wiggins from Clemson went 30th. NBA, Bub Carrington from Pitt, he went 14th. Jared McCain from Duke, 16th. Keyshawn George from Miami, remember him, big guy, big hair, 24th overall. And then Ryan Dunn from Virginia, 28th overall. So, man, I know that's not the only metric we should use. And it's not even remotely the most important metric that we should use to judge the strength or vitality of these conferences, right? I get that and I hear that. But this is not nothing, right? The fact that the ACC is doing that across these sports, across several of the 3 major kind of men's sports in college, doing it. And so you love to see that for the ACC. Obviously, North Carolina is part of that as well. And so I'm encouraged by it. Now, am I a future seer? No, absolutely not. I have no idea what is going to happen with the Tar Heels individually and the ACC as an entity. So we wait to hear on that and we wait to see more. But until then, we just keep on churning it out. let's keep making it happen as we get into the 24-25 season. All right, guys, it's great to be together to kick back off the week. If you haven't subscribed to the show on video and audio, please do so. We'd love to have you. If you're not part of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord community, very easy to join. The link is in the show notes, and it's free to join. No reason to at least come try it out, figure out what our community is all about. It's a blast. I'm just telling you right now. All right, gang, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll be back again tomorrow, but until then, peace.